While the attendees are populating, we'll call the meeting to order. I have 7:01 for the agenda. Since we have so many wonderful people here, I'm requesting that we bump up new business to, we'll make it number 3. So just before the consent agenda. That way we can get that all knocked out and not eat up everybody's evening.
You can't make the
So-
I think we
motion.
need a motion.
Yeah, someone has to make the motion.
I move we approve the agenda with the correction of moving number 6 into 3rd place and bumping the rest down.
Second.
Excellent. Vote by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha. Aye. Counselor Lee,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger,
Aye.
and that passes.
So presentations and public comment. Did we have anybody sign up for public comment? We can do that, but it's no longer an agenda item just because we have people that are on Zoom as well. So it,
We had a Zoom class.
I don't know if they have a flag or if they just want to stand and look at their screens, so. So if there is no public comment, then we will move straight into new business. So we have resolution number 1322. Resolution authorizing the city to distribute funds donated and raised by the Corn Festival event to local community groups providing services within the city of Aumsville area.
All right, so my staff report for this is resolution 1322, and what this is doing is authorizing the city to distribute the proceeds from the Corn Festival. The mayor has contracts. They're the same contracts we've used in previous years. He has those signed and executed, and I believe he has checks
I do.
even tonight with him. And if council approves this resolution, what it does is authorize us to go ahead and distribute those funds to the various service groups. We had quite a few service groups help with not just the Corn Festival, but events throughout the year. A lot of our events, as you know, in the city are free. They're not revenue generators. And we have those events so that everyone in the community has the ability to enjoy them. But Corn Festival does raise some funds, and this year we actually raised $18,000 more than our expenses. And council has previously reviewed the distribution list and authorized us to go ahead and put the contracts together. So my thought was, one is first to have council go ahead and approve the resolution if you so choose to. And then what I'd like to do is just call a representative up from the exhibit A, and the mayor can come up and we can award each of those checks. And if they want to say a few words, they can. You're not under any obligation to say anything. You can just get your check and say thank you. But if you'd like to say something about your organization, you might want to do that as well. Any questions? And council.
Nothing from me. Anybody? Do we have a motion?
I move to approve resolution number 13-22, a resolution authorizing the city to distribute funds donated and raised by the Corn Festival event to local community groups providing services within the city of Aumsville service area.
We have a second.
Second.
Vote by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha. Aye. Counselor Lee,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger,
Aye.
motion passes.
Cool.
Let's hand
Excellent.
out some money.
All right. So our first group up is the community theater. Did we have anybody? No.
We don't have a
Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next one, which is our Aumsville Historical Society.
I would just like to say that, thank you very much, but also we actually had a lot of fun. We bagged corn for about 3.5 hours on Friday, helping the Exchange Club and the Corn Festival folks. And we got tired, but we did a lot of corn. But we only reduced it down about half the size. We had 8. Yeah, and we had 8 volunteers from.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, these weren't in order. All right. Thank you, Ted. Appreciate it.
All right, Cascade School District.
You are.
I am Greg Cascella. I am new here in Cascade Schools. I'm the new director of communication, and I just want to say a huge thank you. One of the things I noticed right away is I love the community support for the schools. You're in their schools, you're building things, you're helping out, and we are really grateful for that. It's really fun to get to be a communication person for a district like this. So thank you very much for the support.
Got my routine here. Okay, Girl Scout Troop, 3/1890. I don't know.
Today we had a lot of fun. We had a couple of girls volunteer. We kind of spent the whole day of Corn Fest. So it was really nice seeing everybody and everybody enjoying all of the festivities. So it was really nice. Can I get the girls coming? Gotta get up here with me.
And I would say that this was the first year that we actually had a great organized volunteer sign-up and information booth, and these young ladies did all that.
Could I
Love
intervene?
seeing all the volunteers.
Ron, could I intervene for just a second? They're off the screen from the video. And so in order for them, and I think they would like to be, so let's do it in the center and then when the video is out, then they'll be in there. There we are. Yeah.
Thank you, Colleen.
All right, Mama's Community Market.
I want to say recently, started working for Aumsville. So if you're familiar with Mary Food Share, I was on that, serve in multiple counties. And I deal with 800 agencies, and none of them have the support of the community like we do here. So it's almost like
Marion County Search and Rescue, did we have anybody? Nope, okay. They were a great team. They managed parking for our Friday and Saturday events. And as you know, that is just, parking is it's a crazy thing, but they did it and they've done it the last few years. All right, we have our service integration team. And maybe you can just.
okay. So service integration is about integration, collaboration, and building relationships. And I think the last couple of years, we've been building relationships over corn and shucking corn. I think our volunteers managed a lot of the shucking, and I saw all kinds of shucking this year. So, but we really appreciate the support of council of the city of Aumsville with service integration. So thank you.
And we appreciate you.
If we didn't have their team show up to shuck corn, I don't know what we would do. So, but I will have to say that a lot of our service groups tonight, even though we're presenting them funds, the impact that they have back in our community is magnified 100 times over, because every one of these groups not only help out with our events, but they help people in our community every day. And so they're completely invaluable to us. All right, and then our final group is the Exchange Club. The Aumsville Exchange Club.
You want to say anything?
I would like to thank everybody here because I think I saw every single one of you at the Corn Festival. And whether you were bagging, sorting, shucking, we all had a very long day, but it was a lot of fun and we very much appreciate your sharing the profits. So thank you.
And just a couple just points of information. We doubled our corn sales from last year to this year. And that was one of the reasons we actually were able to provide more money this year, was because we actually produced more of a profit. We were down a little bit in sponsorships this year, I think just because of the economy and the timing and everything that was happening. But because of all your hard work, the fruits of our labor actually were more. And we're happy to give that back to you in reward of all your hard work. And hopefully we continue the relationship. We really enjoy having you. You do make our events possible. Without all the volunteers, we couldn't do it, and we couldn't do it as efficiently. So thank you. Thank you all.
Absolutely. Just really quickly, I want to say, my time as mayor is rapidly coming to a close. And one of the big pushes that this council and the city as a whole has made during my time has been growing and expanding the Corn Festival. And I think we've done a fantastic job of that, but that absolutely could not have happened at all without your organizations and being able to get people involved. So we truly, truly appreciate all of you. And we hope that we can continue to grow the Corn Festival and make it even bigger and better every year. Now, consent agenda. Everybody get a chance to read through everything? Any questions, comments, concerns? We have a motion.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
He was louder.
I know.
Well, by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha. Aye. Counselor Lee,
Aye.
Counselor Sini,
Aye.
Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger,
Aye.
motion passes.
All right, so we have public hearing. This is our USDA Rural Development Loan Grant Program application. This is going back to our wastewater treatment facility. So we will go ahead and open the public hearing. I have 7:14. Ron, your report, please.
Okay, as council knows, we've been working for a number of years to meet the requirements of DEQ in getting our treatment facility upgraded so that our effluent meets the current standards. And what that means is we had to go through a huge process and develop a new capital facilities plan that would address the specific criteria. We had to get a new discharge permit issued to the city. Once we've done all that, had the plan approved, now we have to actually implement those elements in the plan. And one of the things that we've been really doing is spending a lot of time applying for grants, and we've been pretty successful this year. And last year, I think between the 2 years, we're close to about $8 million in water and wastewater grants. Some of that is ARPA money from the American Rescue Plan. And so that actually was timely for us. But then we have to figure out, how do we fund our projects? When we started this project about 2 years ago, our costs to build a new facility was estimated between $12 and $15 million, which is a tremendous amount of money for a community our size. Now that our plan is complete and the engineers have been able to analyze our current construction climate and supply chain climate, they're estimating our current shortfall for the facility is around $25 million. And so, of course, we don't know until we go out to bid exactly where those numbers are going to be, but it will be closer to that $25 million. And so one of the things we did was we were analyzing all the programs that were available and all of the different funding sources, because how do we keep the cost of this down? We'll continue to look for grants. We'll continue to look for different types of funding, but there's a couple of different ways you can get grants. And one way to get grants is through federal programs that are intended to provide a certain amount of grants with a certain amount of loans for projects such as this to help out small communities. And depending on your community, the current situation, and the income of the community, you qualify for more grants or less grants. USDA is one of those funding streams through USDA Rural Development. And they had a fiscal cutoff of the 30th of September, in which they go into a new fiscal year. And so if we were able to meet that fiscal cutoff of September 30th, our ranking to get more grants was better because we used the 2010 census instead of the new 2020 census. And what that really could mean to the community, we don't know until we go out for a funding package, but it could mean millions and millions and millions of dollars in granted funds based on our situation. So we really worked hard to meet that deadline, and we did meet that deadline, and got the application in one day early. So I was pretty happy about that. So now the next stage for us to do is approve a resolution from the council authorizing us to apply for funds by resolution. Now, that doesn't mean we'll actually apply for those funds. We have up to 5 years to enact that loan. But what it does is it completes the application cycle. It secures us into that fiscal funding stream. And then as time goes on, we'll come back to council. After we do, we'll go out and we'll do a one-stop, which will include agencies and programs from around the state, whatever would be available currently. And that one-stop will provide us all of our different funding options. And then we can come back and talk to council about which one makes the most sense and provides the most benefit. Some of this project will require funding from the community. There's really no way to get around that. But I believe that we're going to buy that burden down quite a bit with this process. So if council approves the resolution tonight and authorizes the mayor to sign that, it will basically lock us into this fiscal funding cycle. And again, we're not going to be under an obligation to do it. It just starts the process and opens up the application. Happy to answer any questions. I know that was a long report, but I figured we had so many people in the audience.
Good, Ron. Good. Does anybody have any questions?
The only correction I would ask is on line 17, there's a 0 on the resolution, and that should say $25 million, I believe.
Yeah.
So maybe if we could just, if somebody does make a motion, they can amend as suggested.
All right. Do we have anybody who wishes to provide testimony or public comment? None. So we will go ahead and close the public portion of the hearing. I have 7:20. Council, questions, comments, concerns, issues, complaints? Nothing? Cool. So just kind of piggybacking a little bit off of what Ron said. What was the number we had talked about earlier this year, Ron? We're sitting at, with this project and associated projects involving sewer and our water treatment and water infrastructure, we're at like 8 or 9 million total in grants and direct funding.
Yeah, it might be a little over 8 million total currently as we said. And so we received, I believe it was about $4.1 million to build a new drinking reservoir, or a new reservoir, a 1 million gallon reservoir, and to drill 2 new wells and the associated work that went with that. That was the city contributed a $300,000 match to those funds. And we had a lot of help from our representatives, Moore Green and
Senator Patterson.
Senator Patterson in acquiring those funds. We also had a project where we needed to build a new public works facility. And we were able to get a $900,000 grant for that. And then we received somewhere around $2 million in grants with a direct allocation of ARPA and a pass-through grant from Marion County. And then the cities has about $1.2 million in savings there. And so we've got about $3 million to go towards the treatment facility. So we're $22 million short. We were like $9 million short 2 years ago, and then the price changed, and then I was looking for $18 million and the price changed. And the further the project goes out, the more the cost escalates. So we're trying to lock it in sooner rather than later. And then, yeah, we received a bunch of other smaller grants for various projects around the city.
Do we have a motion?
I move to approve a resolution 1422, a resolution authorizing and providing for the incurrence of indebtedness for the purpose of providing a portion of the cost of acquiring, constructing, enlarging, improving, and or extending its wastewater treatment facility with the change to line item 17 to be to accept a grant in the amount not to exceed $25 million as presented by staff.
You have a second?
Second.
All right, vote by roll call.
Counselor Casares,
Aye.
Counselor Seha,
Aye.
Counselor Lee,
Aye.
Counselor Sini. Counselor Wick,
Aye.
Mayor Clevenger.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Yep. Moving on, we already did our new business. So Ron, your report, please.
All right, well, as customary, council has our police department report, our public works report, and review of our check vouchers in your packet. I just note in the police department report, you'll see that our assist calls have significantly dropped. I'm going to provide council presentation at the end of the year, after the beginning of the year, that will show a trend, but we've been able to reduce some of those neighboring assistant calls to through our mutual aid program. And basically what we did was we adopted a policy on the types of calls that we'd respond to, and that significantly reduced the time that we're out of our community helping another community. It's important to note that we do get a lot of assists from those other communities on times that we need additional help, but at the same time, we want to make sure that we're not just responding to regular calls, that they're a call for service. And then through my administration report, I didn't put anything together for you, but just to remind council, on Saturday, we're having our pumpkin walk, which is a new event that we wanted to do this year, where we're going to go ahead and do free pumpkins to the community. And some of our service groups, our exchange groups, going to be there, and they're going to hand out some snacks and hot cider, and people can go through the walking path and pick out a pumpkin and take it home with them. And so we'll be doing that. We will be installing this month our electronic sign, our message center out front. And so that'll allow us to go ahead and put more messages out about things that are going on in the community and meetings, and letting folks know when we have events that they can attend. It'll also help us get messages out during an emergency situation or an event where maybe we've lost power or phones are down and we don't have the ability to get messages out to the public. So that should be going in and should be completed by the end of the month. Hopefully we keep that schedule. And then this month we'll also, after that, we'll be doing the brick fascia on the front of this building, which was the last it was the last item that needed to be done to bring this complex up to its original vision. And so we should be done with that. And we're still working on the Veterans or Service Memorial, and that's moving along good. We hope everything's gonna come in on time to have that ready for an event, either just before, or just after Veterans Day. We'd like to be able to do it around that time frame. And we're just busy. We continue to work and happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Anybody got any questions? Excellent. Thank you, Ron. Moving on. Council, anything to report? Nothing? My other work trip for the end of this month is not happening now, so but we already canceled that meeting anyway, so it doesn't really matter. See, no correspondence and we have no executive session. So if there's nothing else, we will go ahead and adjourn the meeting. I have 7:27.